Hi there, it's my pleasure to welcome you to another exciting weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. On today's agenda, we're looking at major construction work in progress at 2 hospital projects in Western Jamaica. Plus, we'll be exploring some of what's planned in the 2023-2024 budget. Stick around for these and more interesting features right after this important message.
Know your numbers and control the keys to a healthier heart. Know the numbers for your blood pressure, cholesterol level, blood glucose level, and your weight and body mass index. Find out the risks they represent and what you need to do to stay healthy. Talk to your doctor and start making healthy lifestyle choices to prevent a heart attack or stroke.
Thanks for staying. We begin our features with the Healthwise segment. This week we're looking at progress made on the rehabilitation on the Cornwall Regional Hospital and construction of the Western Children and Adolescent Hospital. Both are moving apace, and we have an update.
Two major hospital construction projects are underway. One rehabilitates the Cornwall Regional Hospital and the other introduces a new hospital for children and adolescents. Both are making fast progress.
When we had just started, the base of the building was very compromised. There was a broiler here that we took out. We had to, steels were exposed, and so a lot of work went into solidifying the base, the foundation, to ensure that the building is preserved.
The steel and the concrete was very badly corroded. The contractor had to strip away all of the corrosion, expose the bases of the columns, the base of the shear walls, treat the steel, and completely re-encase it in concrete in order to stabilize the structure. So this was a significant aspect of the work, the structural repairs.
The current phase is 2B. So we had 2A, and there was a phase before. The final phase is termed phase 3. So when that frame is completed and there's confidence in it, then a final stage now is going in to put in the windows, the doors, the partitions, the offices, the AC, the electrical, the piping, and that's now the final phase before occupation. As you saw up there, there's nothing in the building. The building has been totally gutted. So everything that's going in will be new, including equipment, and that's a positive thing. We are creating some additional space. We are reorganizing where the different specialties will be to make it for easier flow of work. And even in terms of the aesthetics, when it's completed, the intention is to have the look and feel that represents a modern hospital that provides all the amenities and the features to be therapeutic even before you start getting treated. Ultimately, 90% of the financing is likely to be Chinese. The other stuff is just facilitating the grounds, the compound, that sort of thing. So it's really a Chinese project, donated project. But we put in the connectivity, water, electricity, that sort of thing, a whole retaining wall to expand the car park. That's a couple $100 million. We had done a lot of work with the designs. When the initial designs came, we sent a team to China. We sat, we worked together. It was very collaborative until we agreed and finalized on the plans. The Western Children Hospital, which is under heavy construction, as you can see. Significant progress made over the last 2 months. We have a 3rd floor going up to a 4th. And the front section of the building, as you can see, is all framed up. And based on the team that is here, they're expecting by the end of March to go 3 floors to the front in keeping with the design, another floor on top, and a third building where the foundation will be in place, hopefully, to put the first floor also in place. It will have everything that a hospital, a modern hospital has, including specialist service. Remember, it's a children and adolescent hospital, so it's really up to 18 years from birth. And it will have operating theaters, it will have emergency surgery, it will have 220 beds, diagnostic services, all the critical components. It's a standalone facility that's adding significant capacity to these parts, and unique capacity that doesn't exist anywhere else in the country.
Lowering the sodium content in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit, shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
Still on the pathway to good health, we are celebrating National Nutrition Month, and the topic is salt. Pay attention as we learn how much of the salt we consume is safe, what are the health benefits, and the dangers of overconsumption.
Most of us are very familiar with salt. The most common is table salt. The chemical name is sodium chloride, and it's a common component of the food supply in most countries. There are several other sources of salt, including monosodium glutamate, or MSG as it's commonly known, and sodium bicarbonate, or baking soda. Salt is commonly used to flavor food and is used as a binder, stabilizer, as well as preservative. Sodium, or salt as we know it, plays an important role in the proper functioning of our body, with just about 500 milligrams needed daily to carry out normal body functions, such as water balance and nerve conduction. However, most of us are consuming much more than is needed.
Global estimates suggest that persons consume between 9 to 12 grams of salt per day, which is 1.5 to 2 times the recommended intake level.
This briny affair is one of the key factors in our non-communicable disease burden. In simple terms, our overconsumption of this nutrient is contributing to the development of several diseases.
When we look at the heart and cardiovascular system, increased salt intake is associated with high blood pressure, with ischemic heart disease, with hypertensive heart disease, as well as heart failure. For the brain, it's associated with stroke, as well as dementia. For the kidneys, with chronic kidney disease and renal stones. For the stomach, there's an association with increased risk of stomach cancer. For the bones, there's problems related to osteoporosis.
High blood pressure or hypertension affects 1 in 3 Jamaicans, and another third is pre-hypertensive. Salt consumption is also often accompanied by increased intake of calories, which increases the propensity for obesity.
Given that the entire population is at risk of NCDs, given the significant impact and the burden of NCDs, it's imperative that there is sustained action to mitigate the effects of salt consumption.
In 2021, the Ministry of Health and Wellness launched the Jamaica Salt Consumption Knowledge, Attitudes and Practice Jamaica Salt Cap Study. It was designed to provide local baseline data for strengthening strategies to eliminate overconsumption of salt within the population. The ministry is partnering with the National Non-Communicable Disease Committee, the National Health Fund, and the University of the West Indies on the study.
One important aspect of addressing the health concerns of any population is through research. This study, therefore, will help to determine the knowledge, attitude, and practices of our population as it relates to salt intake and strengthen the implementation of strategies to reduce.
This project has specific objectives. So firstly, we aim to estimate the dietary sodium consumption among Jamaicans using spot urine sodium analyses. We want to evaluate the salt content in commonly consumed packaged foods sold in supermarkets. We also want to evaluate the sodium content in commonly used consumed foods in local restaurants. Then we will conduct a national survey to get information on knowledge, attitudes, and practices regarding salt intake in Jamaica.
The World Health Organization (WHO) recommends less than 5 grams of sodium per day for adults and less than 2 grams for children under 11 years of age. 1 in 10 Jamaicans consume excess salt by adding it during cooking or at the table, as well as by frequent consumption of salty sauces or high-sodium processed foods. A significant amount of sodium also comes from ready-made meals and prepared foods, including processed meats, breakfast cereals, and snacks. It's a scenario where the entire population is at risk for NCDs. Minimizing this habit for excess salt in the diet of Jamaicans is one of several goals informing the Ministry of Health and Wellness's NCD agenda. The mission to shake the salt habit begins with the young. Lowering sodium in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in life, especially for those who are overweight. Limit their consumption of salty snacks. And remember, no more than 2 grams per day from all food sources for those under 11 years of age. Let's also shop and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking and add more flavor to your food by using fresh herbs and salt-free seasoning instead. Also, keep a watch on the foods that are high in salt and limit the consumption. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to determine those providing the healthier options, and be mindful of the portion size you consume. Also, seek out recipes for healthy, tasty meals that can be prepared with little or no salt.
Jamaica is a signatory to the United Nations International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, which recognizes the right of everyone to the highest standard of health. And we believe that in order to achieve this, we must address the crises of NCDs and the role that excess salt, sugars and fats play in making Jamaicans susceptible to getting a lifestyle disease.
Jamaica has committed to the World Health Organization voluntary target to reduce sodium or salt consumption by 30% by 2025. Achieving this requires buy-in from all stakeholders, including manufacturers, retailers, health professionals, and consumers.
So we have a duty to ensure that Jamaicans are aware of the harmful effects of unhealthy diets and have access to important nutritional information, which will allow them to make healthier food choices. It has to be tackled initially from the prevention perspective, and the core of that is consumer information, and then policies that encourage or nudges health-seeking behavior.
We all must do our part to break this briny affair. Shake the salt habit and stay healthy.
Breast milk is the ideal food for babies and can satisfy all the infant's nutritional needs for the first 6 months of life. It provides much needed antibodies to protect them against all kinds of infections. Babies exclusively breastfed have less episodes of diarrhea, acute respiratory infection, and skin conditions. Breastfeeding also benefits mommies too, through decreased risk of breast and ovarian cancers, improved postpartum recovery, and reduced iron loss. Breastfeed your baby to give him or her the best start for a healthy life. Remember, breastfeeding is best.
I'm Nigel Clark. I'm the Minister of Finance and the Public Service. We want a public service that is fair, a public service that values people, and a public service that delivers high quality services. And in order to do so, we need to transform the public service. Jamaica competes in a global environment. The technology has transformed the way in which the world works. And for us to remain competitive, the public service needs to be in a position to deliver services effectively, efficiently, and in good time.
Brought to you by the Transformation Implementation Unit.
As we near the close of today's Jamaica Magazine journey, let's now look at one of the most important industries, tourism. How does the government plan to finance development in this industry in the new fiscal year? Get those details next, followed by an excerpt from the Finance Minister's budget presentation in the Parliament.
It's the strategic resilience of Jamaica's strong tourism recovery, advancing on a budget of $11.95 billion for the 2023-24 fiscal year. The money is set to fuel the strong rebound of tourism after the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. To help finance its program of activities, the Ministry of Tourism expects to earn $80.2 million in its appropriations in aid. $1 billion will cover the core day-to-day administrative tasks that drive the ministry. This includes activities to support the pension planning program, the preparation of a tourism strategy action plan, and a disaster risk management system for resort areas. A pivotal engine for the industry's recovery is the promotion of Destination Jamaica. $6 billion is the single largest share of the ministry's budget, and it's targeting promotion to new and existing markets. $2.4 billion of that will be spent on tourism support services. This includes promotion initiatives led by the Jamaica Tourist Board and the Montego Bay Convention Center. The remaining $3.5 billion will be spent on destination marketing, to include the advertising of brand Jamaica through various media outlets.
The development of tourism is going to be a holistic development.
The $4.9 billion for tourism development underscores the ministry's vision of the industry creating sustainable economic growth. In the breakdown, $2.3 billion is being given to tourism product enhancement. This supports the mandate of the Tourism Enhancement Fund and investment in community tourism activities and eco-tourism development.
And we're focusing on green development as well. So our environmental partners are going to be quite comfortable with the development strategies.
Under the Tourism Business Development pillar, $253 million will support the 5 key networks of health and wellness, gastronomy, shopping, knowledge, and sports and entertainment. For the final pillar, Destination Assurance, $2.4 billion will strengthen visitor experience, mostly through the work of the Tourism Product Development Company Limited, TPDCO. Other improvement projects include Spruce Up Pond Corner, Resort Town and Heritage Upgrades, Tourism Resort Maintenance Program, Public Beach Upgrade Program, Cardiff Hall Phase 2, and Jam Iconic sites. It's building back stronger and positioning to thrive. The Ministry of Tourism is committed to spurring Jamaica's economic acceleration to the benefit of all.
Respect for myself and others. Self-discipline means there's a right way to conflict resolution. Kindness and compassion say being nice is normal. Honesty and integrity are badges of honor. Yes, we choose values for life.
As promised, we now share an excerpt from Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke's budget presentation in Parliament early this week.
Madam Speaker, all adult Jamaicans interact with the tax office, who deliver collection services of taxes, licenses, fees to the public. We can improve quality of life by improving that interaction, by making it more comfortable and more efficient, Madam Speaker. We can do so by investing in technology to allow more services to be delivered online. But we can also improve the network of tax offices across the country. Most of our tax offices were built a long time ago for a smaller population, far fewer transactions, and at a time with far fewer cars. And hence our tax offices suffer from a lack of parking. Madam Speaker, over a number of years, we plan to upgrade tax offices across the country to provide more comfortable, timely, efficient service. 2 weeks ago, Madam Speaker, I broke ground on the Christiana tax office, which will provide a modern facility with green space. I want to show you some of the pictures. Green space, adequate parking, generator, and others, Madam Speaker. We are going to break ground on we are in development of the Montego Bay tax office, Madam Speaker, to upgrade to a Montego Bay revenue service center, Madam Speaker, in Montego Bay, Madam Speaker, in the upcoming fiscal year. Madam Speaker, this tax office will feature the first ever drive-through teller at a tax office in Jamaica. It will be used for taxpayers in a hurry, Madam Speaker, taxpayers who have mobility issues, who are young or have children in the car and can't leave the kids in the car, Madam Speaker. Thoughtful design, Madam Speaker, for a new era. But, Madam Speaker, it's not only the out of the building we're pretty. The building is designed, Madam Speaker, for customer comfort. A new customer service hall which takes, Madam Speaker, into account the reality that many Jamaicans live with disabilities, Madam Speaker. And, Madam Speaker, where they put you to wait. Well, you can't. I'll show you what a modern waiting area is going to look like, Madam Speaker, at the Montego Bay Revenue Center. As you wait to pay your taxes, Madam Speaker. Just pay more. You wait in comfort, Madam Speaker. You wait in comfort. Yeah? And, Madam Speaker, the staff are not going to be left out, because their training room will be modern, Madam Speaker. Modern training room. In a few months, TAJ also plans to build out the interior of the new Mandeville Revenue Service Center, which, if all goes well, comes into service in the 24-25 years. We're also purchased land for the construction of a new tax office in Brownstown, St. Anne, to have construction begin in the 24-25 years. Now everybody in Kingston say, wait a minute. All you talk about tax office outside, welcome to Kingston. Madam Speaker, King Street is the largest tax office in Jamaica, measured by volume of transactions. The volume of business there today far outstrips capacity. Persons have to traverse the stairs multiple times in a single visit. So frustrating to get their business done. Ever go upstairs, downstairs, go there? In addition, it's regularly overcrowded. I'm pleased to announce that TAJ has acquired the BNS building on King Street, which was previously BNS's head office, and which is a marquee building in Kingston. Every picture of old-time Jamaica features that building. And we're going to work with the Minister of Local Government to make sure that we have parking in the area. And the Member of Parliament. TAJ, Madam Speaker, will keep the external facade of the building, but will remodel the interiors to meet modern, functional flow of a tax office. The office will be used to relocate taxpayer services, cashiering, TRN, general info, driver's license compliance, from the current King Street location. and it's going through the design phases now for work to start in 2024, for it to be available to the public in 2025. Now we have to just make sure that those timelines are met. TAJ, in collaboration with the UDC and the municipal authority, Madam Speaker, will work on the parking. Now, Madam Speaker, the Crossroads Tax Office accounts for a large volume of transactions, and the size and layout is not suitable for the current load. You see the pictures at Crossroads, you see people lined up outside in a hot sun sometimes. At least now, TAJ provides some comfort with some shade. But man, that's not the fault of the people in the TAJ today. It's just that our growth and development has outstripped our capacity, and we have not invested in infrastructure. And which is why I'm so passionate, Madam Speaker, about the public investment and making sure we have enough room for that. We, TAJ, Madam Speaker, is planning on building a 10-story Crossroads tax office and business center with 3 floors of parking to meet the growing needs of citizens. Now, this one is greenfield, right? We're now in the planning and finalizing the drawings. We have some work to do with the National Works Agency, right? And need some negotiations there to make the final, to get the final submissions and approvals. Madam Speaker, these are some of the upgrades and modernization projects. And when I come to talk next time, I'll talk about other places, right? Other places don't talk. But I want to just give you a little prips. A little prips into what we're doing.
And this is where we end the program, but be sure to join us tomorrow for another show. Until then, there is more to watch by visiting our website, jis.gov.jm. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Until next time, take care and live good.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.